But of course, the one that sent the shockwaves across the country happened just yesterday, and it has left this country in a state of ponder, because you're asking a lot of questions, really. There is a state of insecurity, at least many believe that. So we are asking, why the surge? But this in itself is one that some within the security services contest. They say state of insecurity, really, where is that? Because of a few incidents? Well, we're going to be trying to juggle between what the data, the statistics says, and what you feel is happening shortly. We'll break it all down for you. Walk with me. Let's go through this. What do we know? This is what really started this whole conversation, but this is not the only thing that has led us to this conversation. But let's talk about it. We know a police officer was shot yesterday in the head. Broad daylight robbery. Bold, daring bandits armed with sophisticated guns accosted a bullion van that was escorting and transporting cash. But it is the neighborhood in which they chose to do this that has left many shocked. This is the Adedimpo neighborhood. If you know this place I grew up in and played. It is an area, it's a no-go zone for thieves and armed robbers. Because when you're caught in that part of town, you will be lynched, killed, and your body disposed of. They have a reputation for that. And that area is really a very boisterous, noisy trading hub. And yet, these armed robbers on motorbikes managed to stop the vehicle and under a hail of bullets, killed the police officer, shot the driver, and made away with money. That bullion van itself is in question. Is it really a bullion van? Can you call it so? And the road itself is terrible, potholes riddled, and yet they managed to escape. Daring, bold. This is not the sort of crime we are used to in Ghana, but we are beginning to see a bit of this here. We'll go to the rest of it for you shortly. But not only the police officer who died, a 40-year-old mother of three was also shot, completely not involved, was in a hideout in her cubicle, wooden cubicle, and the stray bullet, appeared to have shot and killed her, right? But we've been tracking the cases. This, of course, has risen this matter to public status on the front pages, but this is not the first time we've had a bullion van attack this year. In January, armed robbers shot dead a young policeman who was escorting another bullion van, bolted with monies in the bullion van. And so I'm just telling you this just to put it in context, that what you saw yesterday wasn't the first time this has happened. It's happened before this year. This is in January. Again, in same January, armed men besieged the church in Oyibi. They shot at the head pastor, and then they stabbed the worshipper. Let's track February. In February, armed robbers attacked and snatched, Asokori Mampon MCE. And the interesting point about this is the MCE is the chief, the head of the Municipal Security Council, right? And yet he was a victim of this attack. They snatched his vehicle at gunpoint. The robbers are just indiscriminate. They don't care who you are, your status in society. They will come at you. Very bold and daring. This is the chairman of the Security Council in his district. Let's come to March. In March, a bullion van again was attacked at Barcelona Spintes. A very, very busy stretch, right? In another daylight operation by some unknown armed men. And so again, I'm just showing you this isn't the first it's happened. This year alone, we've had two. In Kumasi, several of them, right? Let's stay with March, because the driver of the van escaped while the police officer was disarmed and assaulted with a mallet. So we've seen this trend evolve. Let's come to April, right? Robbers shot and then killed a couple returning from the banking Sekedin Takrade. And so we're beginning to see this play out not only in Accra, but elsewhere across the country. Let's come to May, right? We saw a census trainer was shot dead in Cape Coast, right? And then we come to the head teacher who was also killed in Atebu Kwame Danso Highway, right? In a suspected robbery attack in the Bono East. This is May. Let's come to June, this very month. We talk about the Gimpa Fiesta Royale Road robbery. It's become one of those stays now when it comes to robbery attacks. Several of them happening in a space of a few days. We have the Forest Bureau, and this is for me is a tip of the iceberg, but also the one that raises bigger questions, right? About the police itself and its ability to get to the bottom of this and deal with it in a speedy manner. Because this particular attack at the Forest Bureau happened right under the noses of at the police headquarters. If you know where this happened, this raid happened literally meters away from the police headquarters. Meters. You just simply have to walk a few steps. You cross the road and you get to this Forest Bureau. And yet, the robbers managed to enter the Forest Bureau. They shot somebody. They made away. And we still don't know what has happened yet to it. What was the response time of the police? The key question that you're still asking. We're yet to get clarity on that. But because of the proximity, it raises questions. Armed robbers fired at a victim at a pig farm and made away with his backpack, again, very recently, right? So we've seen a lot already on this. But there have been promises in the past by government officials as to dealing with the problem. In the wake of the slaying of another police officer 2 years ago, 2 police officers were shot in Kaswa. We had the vice president made a very bold promise. And to be fair to him, he wasn't the only person who made a promise. The interior minister, who has been retained, Ambrose Derry, went to visit the family of the police officer and then boldly declared that henceforth, no police officer on duty will go without bulletproof vests and proper protection with a helmet, right? And that all of them will be armed with proper functioning weapons, right? 2 years, less than 2 years down the line, we are back having the same conversation. And as we've heard already, the officer who was shot yesterday was in the seat, was in the guard duty, was not wearing any protection whatsoever. The bulletproof vest that was promised by the vice president and the interior minister is still nowhere to be found. Questions that, of course, they must answer, and he is the head of this council when it comes to the police. And so a lot of questions that must definitely be answered. Where are the bulletproof vests? Where's the helmet? Where are the weapons that was promised? But the president himself, we've been looking to find what the actual statistics say about crime in Ghana. We struggle because the police themselves haven't published it. But 2 weeks ago, thankfully, the president was in Cape Coast where he was given an honorary doctorate degree. And he gave a speech in which he updated us on the crime statistics for the first quarter of this year. And he says there is no insecurity in Ghana per the statistics, right? He says, well, media reports create this impression. Of course, when it happens, we report. And you may get a sense that, oh, this is something that is engulfing the country. But what exactly did the statistics say? According to the president, this is the statistic that he is working with, right? And he was comparing the first quarter of 2021 to the first quarter of 2020. In 2020, and this is just for robbery cases, right? In the first quarter of 2020, according to the president, we had 520 robbery attacks. Same period this year, we have 491 robbery attacks. That is just what the evidence suggests or says. And so facts, they say, are sacred. And so that's it. So first quarter, of course, we just entered the second quarter. And so we may not know what the latest statistics suggest. But if you're looking, we're working with the first quarter, latest statistics on it, on a downward decline. I mean, and the president goes ahead to talk about all the fantastic things that he's done for the police service. We'll talk about that. Really, hasn't the government done enough? And what we are seeing are just isolated and in few cases here and there that doesn't add up to an insecurity situation nation.